Hi there, I am Jennifer Ferguson with Artistic Painting Studio, and I'm excited to be hosting another Hometalk TV segment for you, which is the largest DIY network for home and garden. So if you're watching the premiere, I will be watching it with you, so please ask all the questions you have, and I will be there to answer everything, hopefully. Hopefully I got the knowledge to answer it. It's my project, okay. So this is a chair that sat on my balcony for over 6 years, and I live close to the beach, which means it rusted. Okay, it was not meant to be probably on my balcony, but we're redoing these to actually go out onto the patio. So I'm going to let you see what we did for the prep, because the prep was a little bit of work. So I'm going to show you what I did, and we'll get started. So we're outside where all the prep is always happening here, okay? This is our alleyway. Wonderful place. But this is the chair that I'm redoing for our patio, and I'm going to be doing a rust and patina finish on it. But right now, it has a natural rust finish because it was sitting outside and really wasn't meant to be. So I want you to see what we're starting with here and how much damage is on here. And we are going to be sanding this off, and I'll be sharing what kind of tools that we are using. And then when we're ready to start our project, you'll see how cleaned up this got before we got going. So as you can see, the prep was actually kind of fun. My neighbors came to my rescue and gave me, it's called an angled grinder with a wired wheel or something on it, but I'm telling you that thing was a godsend because it helped clean up all these chairs really fast. Okay, now if you don't have anything like that, good old sandpaper will work as well, but it'll take you a little bit longer. Okay, so this is probably not the most exciting project to start, but it's all the prep you really need to do. So I'm starting with one of Rust-Oleum's, I think it's called Rusty Metal Primer, okay? And I want to make sure that I seal in the rust that's already on here, okay? Because I know that I sanded it off, but I really don't want anything to kind of come back through. So we're actually going to put 2 primers on here, and I'm just going to brush them on. So we're going to get started. Okay, so like I said, this is not the fun part of the project, but prep is extremely important, and especially because I'm doing something that had rust, okay? And I am going to create a beautiful new rust finish with Modern Masters metal effects, but it is going to be a rust and a patina finish, which is going to be way prettier than what happened to these chairs. So like I said, this is the first coat, and this one is the Rusty Metal Primer, which is going to hopefully seal back any of this rust from coming forward. And after this one dries, I'm going to be putting on another coat of primer. So these are going to get double primed. So this coat here is to prevent anything that's already, or anything that I left behind from coming back and haunting me later, okay? And the second coat is actually going to be so that the new rust finish that I put on doesn't eat through, okay, and cause even more rust because I'm going on a metal finish. So that's all I'm doing, okay? If this is a liquid enough product that if you had a sprayer, I believe you could actually put this through a spray gun, but I'm going to painstakingly brush on every level. Now, because I'm doing so much brush work, I'm trying to keep my strokes even so that it doesn't get too heavy with a bunch of brush strokes on it. So we're just going to continue to paint. Fun job. Okay, so I have completely painted this chair with the rusty metal primer. Now, I want to let you guys know, if you don't have a metal project, you do not need this, okay? This was only because I was on not only a metal project, I was on a rusty metal project. So just if you are on any kind of other surface, don't even bother with it. And fair warning, this was an oil-based, solvent-based product. Make sure you're doing it in a very well-ventilated area. It didn't smell good at all, okay? And sometimes that's just the prep you have to go through. And I am one who really, really puts a lot of stress on prep because your first coats are your coats that are definitely going to give you the best finish altogether. So if you have an issue with a finish, it's always going to be your first layer that fails. So make sure you don't have failure. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the Modern Masters Primer. Okay, this doesn't smell, guys. This is way better. So for most of you, let's say probably 95% of you, you're probably going to start right here with the metal primer for the metal effects. Okay, so metal effects is a whole series of products that all go together, and they're for the rust and the patina. So this is to protect your surface from any of the rust or the patina eating through to your surface. So you make sure you want to put this down. 2 coats, okay, allowing the first coat to dry. You allow the second coat to dry 24 hours. So I'm going to get busy and put 2 more coats on here. And again, it's brushing just like I showed you earlier. You don't have to watch this, okay? Prep is definitely boring. Okay, we'll see you back in a few minutes. Okay, so we've got 2 more coats of primer on here because the Metal Effects primer requires 2 coats. You can recoat within about a half an hour after the first coat, but the second coat needs to dry for 12 hours, okay? So again, we got some extended dry time on here. And when I say recoat in a half an hour, that's really gonna depend on your environment and how warm or cold it is there, okay? So make sure it's dry before you put the second coat on. Also, you know I'm gonna be watching live with you guys if you're watching the premiere, so feel free to ask any questions. The Metal Effects has a lot of details to it, and I'm trying to include everything so that you guys will have successful projects. So we're finally getting to another coat, okay? Another layer to paint. This is the oxidizing iron paint, which has a little smell to it, but you know, I guess I've been painting for so long, nothing bothers me. But again, 2 coats. So we're gonna put on a coat of the oxidizing iron paint. We'll let it dry. We put on a second coat of iron paint, and then we're finally gonna start to have a little bit of fun. So let's get started. So when you finish your first coat of the iron paint, it's not gonna look completely opaque. So if it looks kind of splotchy, don't worry about it. You're going to be putting on a second coat, which is the coat we're going to activate. Okay, our second coat of the iron paint is dry, and now we're ready to do what's called activate it. So there is a rust activator that we're going to be spraying on here, as well as the fact that I can't just have this all rust. I'm also going to come in with some of the oxidizing copper paint, okay? Now realize all the products I'm using here are in the Metal Effects line, okay? Metal Effects line, that doesn't sound right. Metal Effects line, okay? Meaning they all are oxidizing materials. You can't just go open a regular can of metallic paint and think this is going to work. It will not, okay? You have to have the oxidizing paints. So you can either brush this on, and I'm just going to brush on randomly a few places where I would like to maybe have a little patina in with my rust. And so I'm just going to randomly put on a little bit here and there, because this will just be fun, okay? And then you can brush it on, or you could even come in with a sea sponge if you wanted to look maybe a little bit more organic. And this is a hard angle, so I'm going to come around here. Michelle's going to hopefully still keep all of us in the frame of this, okay? And I mean, this just gets to be like an artistic thing of what you might want to see, okay? So the nice thing about doing the iron paint first and then coming in with some of the copper is that copper can be activated when it's wet or if it's dried for a couple of minutes. whereas the iron paint definitely needs to be dry before you activate it, okay? So I'm just going to artistically throw some of this copper in, and we'll have some really cool patina on this rust as well. Okay, so it was kind of hard to stop putting on the copper, okay? That was just kind of a lot of fun. So I've kind of hit the chair randomly everywhere with some of the copper paint. And remember, this is oxidizing copper. So now I have two sprays to use. We have a rust activator, and then we also have a green activator that will create that patina look. So I always transfer them to spray bottles and label those things, okay? Because you're never going to know which one's for rust and which one's for green, because they basically look like the same color. And then you want to test your spray, okay? So don't just go spray onto your surface. Test them first, because how you spray, if you do a mist, if you do little sprinkles, you know, it's all going to kind of give you a different look. Okay, so I'm going to start actually with the rust. Okay, make sure I got this one going. Okay, and we are just going to try to dismiss this. Okay, now you can brush it on. You can do all kinds of things. Now it's definitely going to run because we're on it's a vertical surface, okay? So everything is going to go down. I don't like my spray bottle as much as I like my old ones, but one really key thing, okay, when you are done spraying, you want to take this out. You want to run water through it and spray water until it comes out clear, because it will rust all your spray caps, okay? So don't leave them on after you're done. When you're completely done, you want to make sure you take them off, okay? So I've hit that with the rust, and now I'm going to come back and try to mainly just hit this over all of the copper areas. Now it's going to definitely go everywhere, but mainly I'm concentrating on the copper. And then we're going to go ahead and set up the camera in time lapse so that you guys can watch the process happen. Okay, I'm trying not to get Michelle, but I think Michelle's ducking over there. Okay, guys? I'm getting a little wild with my spray bottle. So the key is to basically let the rust activator sit for about 5 minutes and respray again. And your rust is going to come to different multiple colorations and values of a rust color on how it sprays, how it was hit. You might even see some of the little circles if I just kind of spritzed an area and it left like little dots, which is really cool because it creates a whole lot of different interest. Now, controlling it, you have some control, but not a lot. So in the end, if you fall in love with 1 square inch of it, I'll guarantee you're gonna get all the rest for free, because there's no way to control just that 1 inch, okay? So you wanna let this sit for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna spray it again, and then we'll turn on the time lapse and just let you guys watch the process and watch it rust, watch it patina, and do some really cool stuff. So it was a lot of work to get to the fun part, but it's all worth it. So we're gonna turn the camera on time lapse next. Thanks. The process of rusting and patina can take a while, but you get some really, really cool reactions, and sometimes you just don't know why you get certain things that react the way they do. But we've done time lapse for quite a while here, and just thought I'd just give you a little bit of a close-up Oh, that part. I mean, where it's horizontal, oh my gosh, you can't reproduce anything vertical that happens horizontal. Sometimes that's just some of the coolest stuff, but we still have some really cool stuff happening. I did a little bit more spraying again, so we're still going to get some more reaction, and we'll be showing you guys this gorgeous piece after it dries here in the studio overnight, and see what all happens. Okay, here is some close-up of the final transformation as the rest in the patina continue to react hours later. Okay, this is such amazing stuff, and to come back in here the next morning and see this piece is just so fabulous. I hope you guys appreciate it as much as I do. We're going to put the new seat cushion on here, and this thing is going to be done.